welcome to Money Exclusive, where we spotlight real stories, simplify money talks, and make better decisions for your wallet. My name is Anna, and today we are going to talk about something that most people will put it off far too late. And we are going to talk about something that will help you protect your life, your health, and also your future. And that is life and medical insurance. Joining me here today is an expert in the field, and today we have Hannah Ang. Hello.
Hi.
So lovely to have you today. We have a lovely lady with us. Hannah Ang is at Finaz agency at Allianz Malaysia, and she is the sales manager there, and she brings in a wealth of experience from the insurance background. Lovely to have you, and would like to know more about you here with us at MoneyX.
Thank you, Anna, and thank you for having me today. Sure. Come, let's start.
Yeah, and I think I would like to know more about your background, because you mentioned that you've been in insurance for a while in our previous conversations, but I think you were also in a different field actually. You didn't join insurance from the beginning of your career.
That's right. I am actually doing a lot of things with education. I started off as a teacher, and I was in education for the last 17 years before I actually made a huge change in this career path of mine. Yeah.
Okay. And then as a teacher, I realized that you can translate those skills that you have educating children, and now you're educating adults about insurance.
Yeah, that's right. Right now, I am actually known as the educator in insurance, given the fact that I was a very, very passionate teacher back then in in education industry, and right now in insurance. And I thought that, this is a better skills for me instead of, having to sell something. Yeah.
I think like what you shared to the fact that most people would think that insurance agents are all about sales, and they may not know in deeper materials about what insurance is, but they just think about getting commission. But I think what I can see even from your social media, that you really focus on the roots on why insurance is so important to Malaysians, and I think that is going to be our target audience for today. A lot of us are working adults, and we are all aware of insurance our companies provide for them. Some of them is a requirement. So I feel that even for me, I'm like, why should I even get insurance outside of work? Because I'm pretty much okay. I've been working the past 10 years. Touch wood, nothing has happened to me. So why should I even get a medical or life insurance in that case? Yeah.
Very good question coming from Anna. And this is a question that I receive all the time. And people will always hesitate, getting themselves a personal medical insurance. And they were wondering, why should I spend more on a monthly basis when I can spend the money on something else that's more important, or something else that I want, rather than medical insurance. So when I have people coming to me asking me this question, my way of answering them would always be a question back to them, asking them, for example, Anna, what do you think about your current job? Are you going to stay with your current company for the next 20, 30 years? Because you're still very young. And are we looking at that length of, tenure with your company? And many a times, customers or my clients wouldn't be able to answer this question because of life uncertainties. Yeah. So that is when I then educate them further about why company insurance is important, but at the same time, personal medical insurance is equally important while you have a perfect employment at the time being.
This is a very good question thrown back to me. Just for my boss, yes, I'll be working for a very long time here at MoneyX, so don't worry about it. But in the sense that I should still get a medical and life insurance, because we do not know of the uncertainties in the future. I think in Malaysia, we are very lucky that we don't often get layoffs, I think, compared to other countries like US and layoffs, and so that insurance will have come into play. Now, I think for a lot of people, they hear insurance, but they actually don't know the difference between medical, life, what does it cover for both? Like if I get life, then I shouldn't be thinking about medical in that sense. So what is really that stark difference between both, or should I even have both in the first place?
Life insurance and medical insurance they are just part of many insurances that we have in the market. In fact, not just life and medical, there are also critical illnesses insurance, personal accidents insurance, travel insurance, fire insurance. So there are many types of insurances. However, when you talk about insurance, people generally think about medical insurance. And when you speak about life insurance, a lot of people say, why do I need life insurance? I just need medical insurance. As long as I'm covered when I go to the hospital, I'm all good. The rest of the things, I actually do not need it. And particularly in this couple years, we will see a lot of people say no to critical illness coverage. And this is where my role comes in. And this is when insurance agent will need to actually educate the public as to the differences of all these insurances. And if you ask me, what is the difference between life insurance and medical insurance? One stark and rather big difference between these two insurances is that medical insurance is the money that we actually pay to the hospital directly. It is just a card that you're holding, and it's not something that you can use it on yourself. And life insurance is an insurance that you get the payout upon your passing, or what we see most these days is when a person became total permanent disabled. And these circumstances, either you passed away or you in the permanent disabled condition, this money will actually pay out to your family. So that's the stark difference. But to go in depth, there's a lot of things that you need to know.
Yeah, I think there are even different medical insurance, different coverage, and I think we would dive into some of it. I think if we would dive into all of it, it will be like maybe a 2-day seminar in that case. Just so it's a good basic information for those who are less familiar with it. But I think even for the general public, most people think that insurance is a scam. Just case in point that I think back 30 years ago, there are things like endowment, and in fact, I think 30 years later, I still hear some of these uncles and aunties complaining to me like, oh, I shouldn't have got that because I felt like I didn't get much money out of it. But I think it could be a poor choice of purchase, maybe from their insurance, or maybe it could be they were less educated about it. So is insurance truly a scam? Like, what is the reasoning behind it, or why do people feel that way?
When I first joined this industry, I got this comment a lot as well of the people that I met, of the youngsters that I spoken to. It's always insurance, the last thing, insurance is a scam. In the beginning, I got, of course, I got really taken aback. Why is people, saying that insurance is a scam? And then I also was wondering. But as I went deeper into studying about insurance, then I realized that, hey, people would have such command is because they just purely do not understand about insurance. How does insurance work? What is insurance? So whenever people throw me this line these days, I would be very happy because the conversation would go on for 2-3 hours. And knowing me, I'm very long-winded, So the 2-3 hours could only address probably part of it, but it's definitely a good conversation with my clients or my prospects. Reason because that is the part when it is most important, whereby I get to actually educate them about how insurance works and how they should actually look into planning their insurance, and why a lot of people thinking that insurance is a scam. Like I said just now, it's purely that they do not understand insurance. And because of how certain things are being done previously in our parents' days, when insurance was introduced in Malaysia, how insurance agent has actually done it in a different way, that got a lot of people, they just dislike insurance, like what you said,
Yeah, I think that is true. And times have definitely changed. I
Yes.
think I wish my parents met an insurance agent like you to educate them. But I also noticed like there is a change in statistics that only 45% of Malaysians are getting insured in medical and life. But also the fact that millennials or even those between 25 to 40 don't even think that insurance is really necessary. And do you think that the scam could be this concept of scam is just a very big misconception? And why do you think there is that stigma of them not wanting to get insurance?
Okay, based on certain reports that I have read and certain research that is published on the internet, why millennials are holding back the fact that they do not want to get insurance, and then some of them thinking that it's not necessary because it's a scam. Based on the research that I have read, it's not because millennials do not want to get insurance. It's because there are other things that come first for them. For example, we have a lot of enticement these days. Instead of kopitiam coffee, for the millennials, it is, for me, it's better to spend my, money at something more luxurious. For example, getting a cup of, nice coffee, and then I can actually post it on my Instagram or my Facebook, and then drawing likes, drawing, attention of my peers, see that, how my lifestyle is, that's the reason why the whole thing back.
Actually, you're right. I was just queuing for a particular concert ticket, and that cost me like 800 ringgit. I was like, oh, that could have been 4 months of medical insurance. But yeah, I do agree. But I also think that the priority is that most people only focus on the present, but they don't think about the future.
Correct.
Yeah. But I also noticed that people getting sick in their younger years is getting more and more rampant, or even sudden death for the matter. So it is something that most people should think about regardless of age. When you start earning a salary, it's something you want to think about for your beneficiaries as well. It could be your parents. And I think when it comes to insurance, most people will not know what is a good coverage. They probably just based on what an insurance agent tells them, but they don't know whether it's enough to cover for long term, or maybe it's not discussed properly. Like, what does 1 million mean? And I think a number that I see often is just 50,000 of coverage, maybe for a death benefit. So what do you think that 50,000 is actually just enough? Statistically, could it be more, or where does the number actually come from for that?
What I also realized being in this industry and seeing how some people come to me and then they actually showed me what they have bought into. Again, I like to ask questions because it's not up to me to decide as to what a person would need.
Correct.
But I like to ask questions as to why the policy is being bought, based on what circumstances or what kind of intention does the person has before purchasing the policy. So these are some of the questions that I will actually ask my prospects or my customers, and I want to know more. For me, the process of getting one insurance plan is very, very important for me to understand the reason behind this person coming on board to look into insurance. So questions will be asked again and again, and very sadly, a lot of people are purchasing insurance based on what the insurance agents suggest.
Right.
But there are a lot of importance we need to place onto how we actually calculate, how we actually look into the person's commitment in life, for example, in order to determine what is a good medical insurance plan for the person, what is a good life insurance plan for the person, or even critical illness coverage for that person.
So in that sense, it depends from people to people, case by case. So we can't just put a blanket figure of 50,000, and then that you're covered for life.
Yes,
Okay.
And that is a big mistake which I can see, because if you were to ask a person, for example, Anna, why do you purchase this plan and why is it 1 million? I have no clue because it was told 1 million is good, so I'll just go ahead.
Yeah, it sounds like, oh, I can be a millionaire, but just
Yeah.
not when I'm, physically able or, in that sense. So it's quite interesting. Yeah, I think 1 million is a common figure that people like to resonate with. But also the fact that I think a lot of people, they do not actually know what medical insurance actually covers. So I think let's talk about certain terms, right? If you look at the policy, we'll see things like sum assured. And I think that is falling under life insurance or even critical illness. So what are all these different terms and what do they actually mean? Like what is sum assured, to be honest? Yeah.
Okay, sum assured is actually the amount that you're being insured.
Right.
And this insured or assured, they more or less mean the same thing.
Okay.
But it just, it depends on how it is being structured. But these are insurance jargon.
Yes.
And that amount would be the amount that you are being insured and you have it. All right. There are also certain insurance jargon, for example, annual limit, cash value, then account value, and there are more. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it
It's
sounds
so
like mind-boggling. I'm like, oh
Yes.
no, and then
Yes.
I have to Google a lot of times. But I think even for critical illness, this is something that I come across often. A lot of policies out there, they would say like, oh, we cover like 100 critical illness or 30 or 40. And then people would think like, the more you cover, the better it is for me. But I don't know if that is a misconception because I believe only most Malaysians or most common diseases would only occur maybe the top 10 or 20. So like, should I be aiming for a higher critical illness coverage in that sense? What's your take on that?
To me, what one person should focus on when it comes to critical illness insurance is the sum assured, meaning that how should I or how much should I look into protecting myself rather than the types of illnesses that is going to protect me, because it's obviously the focus is wrong, because I want to make sure that I have this money upon something happen to me. How it is going to happen, I will leave it as my second thing for me to consider. But the first thing is the sum assured. And this sum assured should be based on my current income, because I may have certain unnecessary or unexpected things that happen to me and I need this money. All right. And then the second thing that you should think about is how this money is being paid out. Right. And it's not like, does it cover cancer? Does it cover stroke? How it is going to be paid out. Will I get this money upon diagnosis of my cancer? And how serious must it be for me to get this amount of money? All right. So the traditional critical illness will only get this money upon very serious or late stage cancer. But these days, with 100 over types of illnesses that is covered in the market, it will pay out during the early stage. So a lot of people didn't know this. Yeah, and they know that, when they talk about critical illness, 36 is enough, right? Yeah.
So it comes down to where are we at our life stages. If we're earning a lot, then whether we can cover.
Yes.
Okay, I think that's good to know. And in fact, I think not many people know that the amount is paid sometimes in tranches, not even a lump sum for that matter.
Yeah.
And I think talking about illnesses, we are often very afraid to disclose our health because it's very sensitive info to our insurance agent. In fact, like I have an ACL, oh my god, this is going on recording. I have an ACL that I have yet to get treated. And oftentimes I do not want to disclose that because I'm afraid that it will affect my medical insurance. But I do have one already, by the way. So then the stigma is if I don't disclose it, then I get to save a lot on premium. So what is your take on that? Like, how honest should people be? Of course, the idea is to be more honest.
Yeah.
But what is the implications if they are not honest?
This is another very good question. I think a lot of people out there are having the same kind of thoughts like you. Should I tell? Should I not tell? This is also part of our struggle as insurance planner, because we might not be able to get as deep as we want, and at times when admission happens, and then we tend to have oh, I didn't tell you. Oh, the insurance agent probably said, I didn't know my customer has this issue. So the question is, how honest should you be when you want to purchase an insurance plan? You need to be very, very honest, especially when we talk about very serious illnesses. ACL, for example, is something that considered serious in the sense that, you need to go for surgery now. Yeah. So unless it is just tear and wear, but still, when it comes to certain parts of the body, right, certain things are considered very serious, and especially something to do with knee, spine, your lower back. These are the very crucial body organs or body parts that we're looking at. So you need to be very honest. Why do we need to be very honest? Like I said in the beginning, a lot of people think that insurance is a scam. But before that, before people actually think that it is a scam, what people do not know is that being honest in disclosing your health condition will actually affect your claims in the future. How honest you are going to be, how smooth your claims going to be. So that somehow is a chain. If you are not being honest and something happened and your claims are unfortunately cannot be paid out, and you will somehow fall into thinking that insurance is a scam.
So it's a sense that no matter how hidden it will be, somehow it will get discovered.
Yeah.
Like I will go to a doctor and they'll be like, oh, you have that sickness like from 10 years ago. So is that how they will discover it?
Yeah, but of course flu, cough is something common. Yeah,
Right.
But if let's say you have a growth on your hand, on your armpit, which I had this experience before of my customer, he had actually a growth under the armpit, and then he went to the doctor, and the doctor said that it's something very normal. It should be gone maybe by as time goes on. So it doesn't occur to him that this could be eventually become something really big. So it did, and it became a big growth, and he needs to get surgery done, and that costs about 60,000. Yeah, to just get the growth removed on the armpit, and yeah.
So he didn't get insurance at that time because
He got insurance, but he forgot that he need to disclose this thing.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Yeah. Oh, that is such a shame. So
Yeah.
that's out of pocket. Whew.
Yes.
Oh
And
my
eventually
gosh.
that became an out-of-pocket thing. Yeah.
Oh my. Okay. Well, that's why, guys, please get your insurance. You do not want to be all hidden, and later that is what will happen, right? Especially we are all saving up for our present times. And I think for a lot of our users, and I think for MoneyX, we often think about what solutions are the best for our users. We want them to be empowered by their decisions. So let's start from the really basics, where like if I go meet an insurance agent, what should be the one thing I should be asking them before I sign anything? Before I everything's on pen and paper already. Yeah.
Okay, what you really need to do when you meet an insurance agent is that tell the agents how can I actually plan my insurance. All right. What a lot of people do is I leave this power to plan to the insurance agent, and therefore you will see that when you ask questions to these people, I don't know, I just follow what the insurance agent say. But in fact, what one needs to know is that I will have to take over the power to plan, because it is based on my circumstances. It is based on my current condition and life commitments. It is never what the insurance agent suggests. But what does the insurance agent in fact need to do is to ask a lot of questions again. And this is how I practice it with all my customer, because everyone comes from different background. Everyone has different understanding about insurance. For example, perhaps today I only know about medical insurance. I do not know anything about life insurance. So it is our responsibility to ask the person, what is insurance to you? And let the person tells you everything that he or she knows about insurance, because then you know how to actually guide this person to plan medical insurance first, or life insurance first, or personal insurance first, or even critical illness coverage. Yeah.
Okay, so it boils down to the user being as open as possible about their life. Okay. And also this is also where they should disclose if their family members even have health conditions as well. Okay,
why is that? Sorry to cut you off.
No worries.
Why is it important? Because insurance, basically, if you look at the financial pyramid, it is at the base of the pyramid. And without insurance as the protection, and a lot of people has moved on to the second tier and the third tier. So without the base, it basically collapses. And that's why insurance needs to be at the base, because its purpose is to protect whatever on top. What is on top? The investment, the savings, our estate planning. Those come after, when you have the base, which is insurance and nothing else. It is insurance that protect the whole pyramid.
And in this case, insurance can cover many things, but in our case, it's life and medical in that sense. And I think that is very important. So please do get one. I also have a life and medical, because I realized we never can predict when our next day will be. It's all in the last day in that sense. So this is a very crucial step. And I think for people who want to get insured, how should they even start? Because there may be insurance agents and friends around who may be bombarding them or meeting them for that one catch up over kopitiam. But what is really the proper way to get insured?
A lot of people think that insurance can be something, that do much later, when they are older, when, they have more stable income, or maybe when they have kids, maybe when they have family. So there is always an excuse, I would say, that delay this decision. But if you really ask me, today, if you are watching this, if you are hearing this podcast, I think today is the day that you start looking into your insurance. Today is the day when you go to an insurance agent, an insurance planner, to speak about, how do I plan my insurance?
Yeah, and if you have any questions or you're very unsure about insurance, I think Hannah is the best person to go to. If you check out her social media, and I think we will share it later in our video, you will get to see all the good nuggets, and it's not your typical salesy approach. In fact, she has a lot of technical terms that she covers in her talk, and if you'd like to know more about it, she will guide you through it. And I think you're very interactive with your users there as well. And even for our users at MoneyX, you will get to know more about the different insurance even through our platform. But I think from right here, we are wrapping things up. I think that's a great and concise way of a 101 insurance class with you, Hannah. And I'm so glad to have you here. With that, I would like to say thank you, Hannah. And I hope you've had fun, and we hope to see you more often, especially with your lovely skill sets and all the technical jargons that you've managed to uncover with us. And don't forget to subscribe to MoneyX Global, that is MoneyXglobal, here on Instagram and YouTube. And we would love to see you in our next episode. Bye!